Hi everybody, it's Royal Ruby. Getting ready for my trip to the desert, and I just wanted to go over my prep list with you so that you guys can also check your prep list, and maybe there's something that I don't have on my list that you have on your list. If that's the case, comment below and let me know what I need to add to my list, because I definitely don't have all the answers, but I do learn a lot when I'm camping. I've been down the coast, the East Coast, up and down, all up and down the East Coast camping. I know a lot about camping, but there might be something that I forgot. So if there's anything that's not on my list that I mentioned in this video that you can recommend, feel free to comment below. So first of all, we're going to start out. You're going to make sure when you're prepping for your trip that you have your directions downloaded, okay? Because trust me, you might not have GPS. I mean, what if that fails you? What I do is I download my directions from Google Maps and I print them out. And then I have them in writing and I keep them in the front of the van with me at all times. You could also buy yourself a Rand McNally. I was thinking about buying one, but I do not have one presently, but I was considering buying one. But instead, I just normally download the directions and I have them printed out so that I can quickly access them if my GPS doesn't work. Now, I have a WeBoost in my van, so I should not have a problem with the internet, getting reception in my van. But it's always a possibility, so I'm going to carry, because if you don't have a signal with the WeBoost, you don't have a signal to boost. So what do? Well, now you don't have your directions. So that's the first thing you want to do, is make sure you either download your directions from Google Maps or get yourself a nice Rand McNally map and follow it, in case your GPS stops working, you lose your signal, or you make a wrong turn and it gets all messed up, and you know how that works. So that's good to have. That's the first thing you want to do, is make sure that you have your directions on paper, so that if something fails on your GPS, you're able to access your directions. Make sure you get your van looked at by a mechanic before you drive. Now, I'm driving over 2,000 miles, so that's very important to me. It's a 36-hour drive. So for me, I'm going to go to the mechanic. I'm going to have him check everything out, all my levels of all my liquids and fluids and all that. Make sure my tires are good. I'm going to bring along some antifreeze and some oil, carry it up in my Thule, and I'm going to be prepared in case I need any of that stuff. I'm also going to carry my little jump starter, which this thing is awesome. You won't need another vehicle to jumpstart your van or your car or your SUV or whatever you have. It also has the ability to charge your phone. It has a little USB inside here. Make sure it's charged up before you take off, because they do have to be charged in order to work. They should be at 100% before you hit the road. So I highly recommend a jump starter for inside your van. You're also going to want to make sure you have AAA. I have AAA and I have the coverage that will tow for 100 miles. And the reason I have that is my kids all are covered under the same policy. So make sure you have AAA. You got to be careful though, because if you're out in BLM land, a lot of times those tow trucks won't come all the way in. So you may want to also carry some sort of a jerk strap so that you can get pulled from another vehicle out to the road in case the tow truck doesn't want to come in and get your vehicle. Usually they will, but for some reason, maybe they don't want to come out all the way out onto BLM land. So those are the first most highest priorities when you're traveling on a trip like I'm going on. You want to make sure that you know your coordinates of where you're going, so that you can give those coordinates to your family members before you leave, so that they know exactly where you're going to be. Okay, so that's the other thing. Make sure you're reaching out to them every day, talking to them every day, letting them know where you are, because this is a big journey and they're going to be concerned about you. So take the worry off of their minds and make sure that you do that as well. All right, so those are the basic things you want to make sure you take care of before you hit the road, okay? Now, getting ready, getting your vehicle, getting your rig packed up. That's the next thing. Now, I'm very fortunate because I have a Thule on top of my van. So that's like having a garage. I put a lot in there. I carry my table up there. I carry all my camping equipment, my chairs, anything at all, tarps, tents, Everything goes up there. I am going to carry my Carsol tent inside the van this time, only because it does take up a lot of room, and I have my Alvantor up there. But I'm going to carry that in between the door and the bed. That way it won't take up as much room, because I'm going to have to put my fuel for my stoves up there, and a few items that I normally don't carry as much of, I'm going to have up there. So to eliminate on, you know, taking up all the space, I'm going to put that down here, but it doesn't take up any room. Okay, so the first thing you're going to do is you're going to want to make sure you have plenty of cords, you know, tie downs, ropes, guy lines, things to tie your tents down, because it's very windy in the desert. It's totally different from camping, you know, on the East Coast. I mean, the closest thing to me, though, is Assateague Island was pretty windy, because I was right by the ocean. That's pretty darn windy there. But it's a different type of soil. It's sand. And I used that corkscrew stake when I was camping there. You know, here you're going to use a different type of tie down. What I'm going to use when I get out to BLM land, and this would go in the category of cords because it's considered a tie down, is this nice big long stake from Walmart. These are steel and they're long, and you drive them in with just a big hammer, and you want to put that puppy into the ground because the ground is rocky and hard in the desert. So I have 12 of these. So you want to make sure you buy a couple of these. You know, don't bring those cheap little metal stakes to the desert, because they will not hold your stuff down. I'm putting a shower tent up, and it'll just fly away. I mean, I've seen people have that happen, videos that I've watched where their shower tents just fly away. It gets pretty windy out there. Okay, so tie downs, rope, anything at all, even zip ties. Those are awesome, zip ties. I use those a lot. I carry those in my van. You're going to want to have cover. Of course, you're going to want to have tarps. I usually use a tarp at the door of my van, a 6x8 tarp. I put them underneath all of my my shower tent. Under my Carsol tent, I'm going to have one, and then one at my door. So I'm going to use about 3. I'm going to bring 4 though, because if I have a friend who doesn't have one, or there's rips, I have an extra one that I can give to them. So it's nice to carry an extra tarp, and they don't take up much room. I mentioned my tents. I'm going to have my Carsol tent, which is like a dining canopy that attaches to my van, and I'm going to have my shower tent. Speaking of cover, you want to have cover for your body as well, because it's really, really hot during the day. It gets really, really cold at night. So you want to make sure you have sunblock and body lotion to moisturize, and, you know, a visor, a hat, or something like that to keep the sun out of your eyes, and also maybe a babushka. I don't know if you've ever seen babushkas, but they wrap around your head. And I have one that I wear. It keeps your hair from getting all like dried out and stuff. So you could bring a babushka to wrap around your head. Any kind of scarf that you could wrap around your face would be nice to have in the desert. Bring plenty of warm clothes for the evening, because it's going to get cold. It's going to get chilly at night. I have a friend who was camping last night, and he left and went to Yuma because it got down to 32 degrees 2 nights ago, and I think it was 28 last night. So he went down south to Yuma and left Quartzsite because it was too freaking cold at night. Now it gets warmer during the day, and so that's why you kind of want to have warm clothes for night and nice, you know, pair of shorts and a nice tank top for the day, because the daytime it can get hot in the desert. So you almost have to have both when you're traveling out to BLM land. I'm going to carry a big oversized hoodie, one of those, because they take up a lot of room. So I'm only going to have one big oversized hoodie. I'm going to have a nice Sherpa jacket, and of course, you know, my leggings and, you know, that kind of stuff. And then I always carry a nice warm coat. I always take my down jacket, and I wear that, you know, because it's light, and it goes into a little ball. Like, it literally doesn't take up much room. So I always carry that. Make sure you have a nice little beanie or something to cover your head, something warm. And I have a pet, so I'm going to make sure Teddy has a nice little sweater so that he doesn't get cold at night either. Even though he's got a lot of fur, he still might get cold. Okay, so the next thing is combustion, okay? You're going to need fuel for your stoves, whatever type you have. I have a butane / propane, kind of a dual fuel, 1 burner. And I also have a 2 burner Coleman stove, which is propane. And I have a Mr. Buddy heater, which also is propane. Because it gets cold at night, like I said, so you may need to fire up your Mr. Buddy. Have those, have matches, lighters, you know, any kind of combustion that you might need to start a fire with and stuff like that. You know, I also carry a candle or two, you know, just because I like candlelight, and I'll put it on in my van at night. It's just soothing and comfortable, and I like it. Containers, you're going to need a couple of those 1 gallon water jug containers. I'm going to have 5 of those with me on my journey from, you know, Delaware to Arizona. I'll carry them at the front on the floor in front of Teddy there, because I won't be filling my water tanks until I get closer to Arizona, because I have them winterized right now. And it's going to be cold in Delaware when I leave in January. So I don't want to like fill them here. The only way I might fill them here is if we have a warmer temperature, evening temperature, the last 2 nights before I travel. I may fill them, you know, the day before if it looks like the weather's going to be not freezing. That way they're filled and they're ready to go. I will use a little more gas with those filled because my van will weigh more, but it'll also stay on the road better. So it's kind of controversial whether I should fill them first or not. I'm not sure yet on that, whether I'm going to fill them, but either way, I can fill them later if I have to, because I have 13.5 gallons of water on board, you know, to fill. But then I'm going to carry the 5 1-gallon jugs of water, and I'm going to keep those jugs because you can use those to fill them up. If you need to go get water, you can always use those water jugs. Okay, so you also want to have, of course, your water cup container to carry your water in. I have another Yeti cup that I use for coffee, and then I have another Yeti container that I put water in from my Berkey water filter system, and I keep that in the fridge, and that way my water is always cold. So those are my containers that I use. You might have something else that you really, really like. That's what I prefer. Now, we're going to get on the subject of other containers now. They're not always easy to talk about. But you're going to want to have a container to, you know, for number 1, okay? So I use the Greek Gods Greek yogurt container, and the reason why, it's a nice wide, and I can't mess with this. So I just bring along a little bottle of Lysol, a little spray thing of Lysol, and I clean it out every time I use it. And I do not use my toilet for number 1 because they say when you mix the urine with the solids, you get more smell. So that's what I'm going to use. And I might just carry 2 of these in case one lid cracks or something like that, because these are just little plastic lids. So I may carry an extra one in the event that my lid cracks. And then, of course, your container for your number 2. This is my Kdd toilet. You guys have seen it before. This will collapse into this teeny little square container. This whole thing will collapse into an accordion. I carry it like this in my van because I'm going to be going across the country. Remember, I'm driving from Delaware to Arizona. So I'm going to have this under my bed, and inside I have kitty litter, and you know, I have BioBlue tablets, but I very rarely use them. I only have 2 of those with me, but I carry that. And then I want to show you what I use. I use these elephant bags, and these are really heavy duty. I buy them from Amazon. They come 15 in a pack for $13. I need 2 more of these because I'm going to carry this plus 2 more, so I have them. And then, of course, I have my little Go Girl device, which is one of those little containers that you can use to urinate with. I'm going to carry that as well for the road trip. And then it's a nice little stool when you're not using it. You can just put it at your feet like that. Put your feet up on it. And now it's a footrest. So that's kind of nice. But I keep it under the bed. And speaking of containers, I have one more container. I normally don't carry this when I'm camping on the East Coast. However, I'm camping in BLM land. So, I have a 5-gallon bucket, guys. 5 gallons. Just, I had this in my shed. It had garlic pickles in it at one time. And I ordered a Gamma lid. You can see it just screws off here. It's called a Gamma Seal lid. I got it from Amazon. It's keeps smells from coming out, and it's pest proof as well. So this is just a 5-gallon bucket. You can use this on a 3, a 5, or a 7-gallon bucket. And this seal, this black seal, this comes attached to this, but you take it off and you put it on the top of your bucket. I had to use a rubber mallet to get that on there because it was really hard to get attached. And then you put, you know, your garbage in there, you put your poopy, elephant bags, whatever you got in there, and you just take this lid. I always have a hard time with the stupid lid. There it is. And you just turn it. And you seal it. You know, you take it and make it tight. And now nothing is going to smell. So when I get to BLM land, I'm going to put this in my toilet shower tent that I set up, and along with my toilet. And I'm going to keep my garbage in there and my bags, my toilet bags in there. Because the dump site is only open out in Quartzsite from Sunday to Wednesday. So it's like 7:30 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. Sunday through Wednesday. And then of course there's your miscellaneous. All right. Now there's a lot of miscellaneous items. These are my intelligent night lights. I'm going to put these under the van to keep the mice away. They're motion lights. They come 6 in a box. I did a review on these. If you want to check them out, I'll put a link to my other video. Really great. They're $29 for a box of 6. They're USB powered. I have them inside the van. They turn on when I open the door. I have one right inside the door. It lights up when I come in my van. So these are really nice to have for lighting. And also I take and put a bar of Irish Spring soap inside the hood of my van, so that right near my engine, because the smell of the Irish Spring repels the mice and the bugs. So you want to put a bar of that inside your compartment, like under your hood, and you could also put one of those motion lights under there as well. And that way it'll repel the mice from coming up and chewing on your wires, because they will chew on your wires. They'll just chew them right to pieces. So that's a nice cheap little fix. And then of course lighting. I use a lot of USB lighting and solar combined. These are USB Lucy string lights. These open up and they string, and I string these all around in my carcel tent. And I also have, over here, I have these little clip lights that are battery powered. I put those in my tent as well. And then, of course, I have my USB lighting inside the van. I have Lucy lighting, which are these little blow-up lights. I have 1, 2, 3. I have 3 of those. And they're nice because if you don't want to use your power, you just lay these on the hood of your car during the day in the desert, and they'll power up like that. And then you're not using drawing anything down from your jackery. Okay, and then of course I have my little battery powered Coleman light that goes from low to high. I love it. I have some battery lights back here. These little pom-pom lights are battery. And what else do I have for lighting? I think that's all for lighting. Now, as far as getting a shower, I carry this little Ivation shower pump system. You can put it into a bucket, and I can go into my shower tent, and I can take a shower. I just put some water in my bucket, put this in the bottom of the bucket, turn it on, and it has a hose. It has a thing that you can, use to rinse off with. And you can just get a little shower. I mean, it's not going to give you a shower like you would get, in a real shower, but it's going to freshen you up and make you feel better. So I'm going to carry this with me because I do have a shower head on my sink out back, and I could take a shower at the back of the van. But I'm going to have my carcel tent attached, so I'm not going to be using that. So I'm bringing my Ivation shower and yeah, I can attach a link to that for you as well. I just carry it in a baggie. And I want to just show you a couple tricks that I use when I'm traveling generally. I carry this little CD case. I know this sounds weird. I have all of my cords. You know how you get all these different cords from USB devices? I carry them all in here. And then I just label on the front, like that's my bipolar fan cord, which is already plugged in. That's my blender cord. This is for my little wireless speaker, my iPad mini. This is for my Mophie. Everything is labeled. So, you know, I have everything with the little manual that comes with it. I love it. It works great. And then I keep it in my electronics drawer here in the front. And whenever I need a cord, I just go into this and I get it out. And it keeps everything organized and nice. So yeah, guys, I think I covered everything. Oh, weapons. This is my weapon. It's bear spray. Bear spray, when you're in the desert, there's going to be coyotes out there. There's going to be all kinds of stuff. Bobcats. You know, they're not going to have bear out there. But bear spray will work on just about any critter, okay? And you don't want to use it if you don't have to, because coyotes are protected in the state of Arizona. But if you have to protect yourself and your dog, I'm going to use it. I also have a knife. I carry a little knife. But this is my go-to weapon right here. And I keep this close to my bed at night. I always have it near me. And I also have a big kukri. It's about this long. And this is one of the things that the Marines use when they're in battle. This was given to me by my brother, who's a Marine. And it's pretty sharp. I never use it much except to cut wood with it or something. But hey, it's nice to know that you have it. Because I don't carry a gun, but because of all the different laws, you know, going into different states, you don't know whether you can have it or not. But I do carry bear spray, and I do carry a little thing of mace, so that if I'm taking a walk with Teddy, I always have my little thing of mace with me. It's a little blue purse kind of a spray, and I have that in my hand all the time. So if I'm with my dog in the desert taking a run, I'm going to have my mace, because I don't want to carry this great big thing. So I'll carry my little thing of mace. But yeah, you want to make sure you have your weapons, guys. And of course, we can't not talk about power. I have a Jackery 240 back here. I have a Jackery 1000 riding up in the front. And I use those to power all of my USB devices, my phone, my laptop. Everything is powered. My little Mr. Coffee maker, my coffee maker. Everything is powered by that. I just recently purchased a 160 watt flexible solar panel to go across the top of my Thule, and that's going to come in and power my Jackery 1000. I also have two portable 100 watt solar panels that I'll be bringing with me that'll also provide power for my Jackeries. So yeah, the bottom line is, you're out in the desert, you don't have power, you don't have anywhere to plug in, you don't have any water. So you're going to have to use everything sparingly, which is why I have a lot of these solar lights with me. Normally, I don't carry these too much. But because I'm going to the desert, I don't know, you know, I don't want to use all my power. I want to keep it as limited as possible. Now, right now, I have my USB lights on. But I probably won't use those as much when I'm in the desert. I'll probably just use my solar and my battery lights. That's probably what I'll use, because I don't want to draw down my Jackery. Now, what I use for my little USB lights, I have a little Mophie, it's called. It's a power brick, basically. It's at 4 dots right now, which means I have full power. This thing will stay charged forever, but it takes a long time to charge, and you have to charge it, you know, before you go on your trip really, really good. And then it'll last you probably your whole trip. But again, it's drawing power. So I don't want to use it if I don't have to. But I have that here. So I'll probably be using more of my solar and my battery lights. And then of course I have my little foyer light here, which is also USB. I'll probably take that out for the trip because I probably won't even be using it. So I'm going to remove that for the trip. And I think that covers everything. I think I talked about the jump start. I believe I mentioned that earlier, but this is really important. So if you get stranded and you don't have anybody to jump you, you got to have this. Plus it has also a power source in it. That's important. Your Mr. Buddy heater, in case you get cold, you want to carry something for heat. You could just start your van up and it'll warm your van up. But when everybody's doing that out in the desert, it's going to get really, really noisy. So I would recommend not using your van to heat up because it's going to be noisy. And, you know, you don't want to have all this carbon monoxide floating around. You know, you want to try to keep it quiet. So I would say if you could bring a Mr. Buddy heater or just bring a lot of blankets. You know, I carry a Sherpa blanket and then I have a really nice wool blanket that I put on my bed when I know I'm going to be in the cold. So I'll bring that along, and then I have a 30 to 40 degree sleeping bag that's underneath of everything that I could also go up under if I get really, really cold. Now for the trip out there, I'm going to obviously have to think about privacy and Reflectix. I'm going to have Reflectix with me to cover all my windows, including my back window, so that when I do stop in a town somewhere to park to sleep overnight, I will have complete coverage. I will be totally blacked out when I'm parking stealth in the cities where I'm going to be stopping to sleep at night. I'll try to park at a rest area or, you know, something like that. But if I end up going into town and parking in a parking lot somewhere, I want to have my coverage. So don't forget your Reflectix for your windows, your camping chairs, of course, a table if you need to bring one. Now, the people that I'm camping with, they recommended that we each bring at least 2 boxes of wood with us and some kindling because we're going to have a real big campfire. So we're going to make this huge campfire ring. And if everybody brings 2 boxes of wood, we'll have plenty of wood to keep us going for those couple days that we'll be out in the desert. So that about covers it. I think we covered everything. I'm super excited. I'm just like really, really thrilled. Oh, and the good news is I have a friend who's going to be caravanning with me. I put a post on one of my Facebook groups that I'm affiliated with, just asking if anybody wants to go along and, you know, comment, let me know. I'd be happy to hook up with you and we could caravan together. And a wonderful girl by the name of Mary Ann or Mary Beth. I think it's Mary Beth. She said that she would join me. So we're going to hook up somewhere along Route 40, probably in Memphis. And then we're going to travel the rest of the way together. And then she's also going to travel back with me. So I'm really excited, Mary. Thank you so much for going with me. Shout out to you, girl. A new friend. And she also has a dog. Her dog's name is Skipper. And he's a senior dog. And he's going to be traveling with her. And then I have my Teddy that'll be traveling with me. So I'm super excited to meet her and to just make new friends. This trip is all about new friends, fun, relaxation, enjoying ourselves. I'm super excited. So guys, thank you so much for joining me today. Don't forget to hit the subscribe button. It doesn't cost you anything to subscribe. It's a free thing to do. But what it does, it keeps you in the loop. It lets you know when I'm doing videos. Hit the bell for notifications if you want to. And like my video if you liked it. Okay? God bless you. I hope you have a great day. God bless. Bye-bye.